Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts, and today we're talking about One Punch Man Season 2, Episode 5. Now, I do want to quickly say something. I do actually have something to address before we get into the video. So I recently did a Loot Crate video, and before any of you roll your eyes, it's a friggin' dope video. I'm really proud of it. It's one of the coolest boxes they've ever sent me, but this isn't really about Loot Crate as much as it is to say, I forgot to do the Patreon shoutouts in that video. Friggin' whoops. So to my lovely patrons, especially those in the Earl Grey tier who were meant to get a verbal shoutout, not only did they not get their names listed, I didn't even do the audio shoutouts. I totally spaced. I don't know how I could have possibly forgotten. It was just a stupid move on my part. So for that, I'm really, really sorry, guys. So I wanted to just quickly address that and apologize. So with that said, that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about One Punch Man Season 2, Episode 5. Let's get into it. And we start basically in a pit of total chaos. Like, I have no idea what's going on. At first, I thought that the prophecy was actually about Garo, that Garo was like this big climactic, holy hell, like look out, end of the world type threat. But it doesn't seem that way. It seems like there's actually something else going on. Like in the last episode, we sort of got the hint, but at the same time, I'm like, well, One Punch Man always has crazy monsters attacking, so I guess the centipede monster, the giant centipede monster, mind you, but still just like the centipede monster. I was like, okay, yeah, like that's just something attacking this specific city, but apparently not the case. No, apparently there's friggin' monsters popping off all over the place. Like, they've got the heroes running them ragged to the point where the heroes are straight up losing. And I do think it's a little bit conspicuous that's like, oh, really, Saitama's like in a tournament and can't help, and neither can Genos, eh? Interesting, good timing. So it clearly one was just like, okay, I can't have Genos and Saitama get involved yet. They gotta be doing something else while this is going on. But even then, I do think, based off that like the post-credit scene, I do think that there's going to be a real purpose to this beyond just Saitama trying to get money, because that one dude who looks like he came straight out of Street Fighter, the guy who looks like the mix of Ryu and Ken, he seems like he actually like can fight and was legitimately like, well, okay, I know who I'm facing in the finals, I guess. Like, so either he can see right through Saitama and realizes it's Saitama and or something like that, or he just thinks Chenrako is like absurdly strong, like, or Charanko. I can never pronounce this poor dude's name. I apologize to Charanko. Yes. Speaking of Charanko, though, before we get back to the monsters, I just want to quickly point out, did Saitama's, or rather Charanko's buddy really not realize that clearly wasn't Charanko? Like, that was obviously some dude in a terrible wig? Like, Saitama's just waltzes out, because in the last episode they made it a point, like, no, the dude can't see Saitama's face because he'll know it's not Charanko. But then we just see the guy like hanging out with Saitama like nothing's wrong. Maybe I missed a scene last week and just like where they addressed like, oh no, he just doesn't remember him, or no, he just can't recognize him, or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I actually just thought it made it more funny that he just like rocks up and Saitama's like, oh, okay, he doesn't know. Okay, cool, I can stop like hiding behind books. Also, the fact that Saitama uses the belt, like ties the belt for his gi in a bow, I can only imagine like actual like those who actually practice karate were like, oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, everything with Saitama this episode really made me laugh. It was really quality, except that poor blonde dude. Oh my goodness. Saitama ruined that dude's life with a single slap. Not only did he knock that dude out, making everybody think he was weak, he possibly ruined that dude's engagement, only to find out, nah, Saitama didn't. The dude probably did, because the girl just straight up didn't show up. That poor guy. Oh my god. But getting away from the martial arts tournament, I want to get back to the monster thing, because it really feels like there's something, like, I'm not sure what it could be necessarily. I don't know if it's in response to Garo, like we're seeing a sort of like inverse of the Stain situation, or just like a straight up mirror of the Stain situation from My Hero. I don't think so, since, I mean, possibly, because they did like try to give Garo an invitation, so it seemed like maybe that was part of it to some degree, but I don't think so. I think there's a puppet master behind the strings to some degree. My initial thought was like, okay, maybe they're being run by Metal Knight, since Metal Knight, we know, like, we know that he can't really be trusted, and there's something tying him to Genos in some way. So my thought was like, oh, okay, well maybe Metal Knight is like rallying the monsters together for like an all-out attack, and that's what the prophecy was all about. That's the thing that all the heroes aren't, that all the heroes, including the S-rank heroes, aren't going to be able to face. I thought maybe that was it, but then again, they also tried to attack Metal Knight, but maybe that was part of the plan. Like maybe the idea was that like okay, we're gonna attack this like prototype of Metal Knight, blah 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 blah. But then again, they did say like, no, don't attack him. It's just a drone. So maybe it's not Metal Knight. I don't know. I'm conflicted. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. But I'm fascinated by it. Like that has me like so intrigued. I'm a sucker for like the building plots in the background that you're like, wait, what does this mean? What could it mean? But on top of that, I'm just kind of invested in Garo in general. I just think Garo is stealing the show. Garo might be like best boy of the season. I don't really want to put him on that Husbando status because I don't really know him like that. I'm not getting those feelings, you know. And besides, like Erwin Sencho from Attack on Titan, he's my husbando of the season because I mean it's Erwin. But like Garo is my best boy of the season. Like I'm interested to see where Garo goes. I want the best for this boy. I'm gonna give him the quality best boy status. Like which is weird because he's technically like one of the antagonists, but I'm so into him as a character. Like I just want to see where this character goes from here. I just find the dude fascinating, honestly. Let's be real, right? Like if Garo was a villain. I'm not saying he's not an antagonist, he is, but let's say let's separate villain from antagonist. Like villain being like the mustache twirling evil like Dio versus an antagonist, so like something like just an opposing character to the protagonist. Like in this case, let's be real, yeah, Garo's an antagonist to our main characters for One Punch Man, but he's not necessarily a villain, because if he was, he wouldn't really have listened to Metal Bat's sister, or later on saved Metal Bat and his sister, but from that one monster who was gonna like try to attack the sister and then probably kill Metal Bat. Like, by the way, I just gotta point out, JC Staff is, like, during the fight between Metal Bat and Garo, I thought the fight was pretty dope. Now, that said, there is a bit of reused animation from that same scene, so we see Metal Bat doing the same swing that he does on Garo twice. But at the same time, I can tell like where they're putting the effort in, because you have these short bursts of like actual like Sakuga where it actually looks pretty good. Now, mind you, it's not season 1 good, but I'm so sick of that friggin', I'm so sick of that friggin', that like, oh, it's not as good as season 1. Like, no, duh, dude. We are 5 friggin' episodes in. You think anybody cares? You think anybody watching at episode 5 cares that it's not as good anymore? I just want it to look decent. I just want it to look good, because right now, my main concern isn't the animation. Well, as opposed to last season where my main concern was, oh my god, the animation is so dope. Now I'm so attached to these characters in this world, like the animation, even if it were just fine, which it's better than fine, it's pretty good. Even if it were just fine, I'd be in, because I'm so invested in these friggin' characters and I want to know where the story's gonna go. So from here on out, I'm not gonna compare it to season 1. That's so done. Like that whole like argument to me is played out. And I just gotta say, like, that fight was pretty friggin' cool. Reused animation, but to me it shows like that JC Staff is doing their best with the skills and the time that they have. Because the fact that like they're scrambling, you could tell they're scrambling to put this together. And the fact that it's coming out good at all, let alone like pretty good and like pretty friggin' awesome at points, like that's saying something. I will give them their kudos. I don't care if people are gonna be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, I'm genuinely impressed with JC Staff. They are doing the best with the really bad hand they were dealt. And honestly, One Punch Man Season 2 has been pretty friggin' rad. And besides, they're putting the effort truly towards, I think, what we all hoped that they would. Fubuki. She's an absolute queen and JC Staff's top priority, apparently. I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. Fubuki is like battling for that waifu status. I already got Cassie Cage back for Mortal Kombat 11, and she was like my gaming waifu of the season. And now I got Fubuki, my anime waifu of the season. Like, yep, waifu status on lock at this point. Fubuki. Brilliant. Just because I'm a Fidanchi doesn't mean I can't have waifus, people. But yeah, everybody, on that note, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy today's video, then maybe, you know, hit that like button. Maybe share the video around. That'd be super rad of you. And if you would like to stick around, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to join the good ones. And as always, before we go, we have to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, in particular those in the Earl Grey tier, namely Omner Garamond, Veridin, Tristan, No For Nothing, Urza, Caden Fate, Gabriel, Dominic, Sipco Games, and Opinionated Slime. Now, as we have been doing for the last few videos and what I think will likely become a tradition, here for you is a haiku. With a bat in hand, this Yankee fights for justice. Metal Bat kicks ass.